Hello, I'm William Goit. I want to share my journey of cancer with you. As somebody with cancer, I have a base of the tongue cancer, and as a practitioner, I'm a licensed acupuncturist and have been doing it since 1986, so I have a little bit of insight. Not that I treat cancer, because that's not something I've ever done, but I do have insight to Chinese thinking and Chinese medicine. And one of the first things you'll notice, or I've noticed, and I've seen it in a lot of other people, that when you get a cancer diagnosis, you start to think about God. You start to wonder about your creation and the Creator. And inevitably, when we start to think about God, we're immediately taken to our early childhood when we first learn these ideas. And ideas of God are beautiful and useful. And I don't know about factual in the sense that when you start to personify God, when you start to say, this is God, this is the Creator, you may be wrong only in the fact that it's a very big topic. There's a lot of creation going on. And is there a mastermind behind it? I believe there is, but it's not quite what we think. It's not an individual like you and I, and it's not somebody with an agenda, and it's not a he or a she. That much I'm sure of. The Chinese have a very clever way of dealing with the idea of God, and they call it the Tao, or at least I should say Taoists. And Taoists aren't all just Chinese, but it did originate in China. And the Taoists say that rather than talk about God as the Creator, you talk about God as the way. The way. The Tao means the way. So it's the process of God. It's creation happening, and it has certain patterns. And in many ways, if you look at how the Tao is expressed in Taoism, it looks an awful lot like primitive quantum physics, in the sense that everything is a possibility. Hence the healing power of tapping into the Tao, or inspiration and enthusiasm for living and excitement for feeling qi. And relative to where we're coming from, that qi becomes more and more refined. Refined in the sense of it has a higher frequency and a faster vibration and less polarity, less good and bad, more of, oh, this is how it is. And this is how it is process will change everything in your life, particularly when you're dealing with cancer. Because if we can get a bigger mind going, one that is full of inspiration, and this is free, by the way, all you have to do is really cultivate it. You cultivate it through the breath and an attitude. Then you can start to feel a feeling about eternity and something bigger than just your little life. Now, I'm not saying this is going to give you a direction of where to go after we die, because I reserve that for the great mystery. I believe we move on, but it doesn't matter to me. It's just now that's important. And that now moment will be here soon. And when we die, I mean. And that now moment becomes very clear when you get a cancer diagnosis. Then it's like, oh my goodness, I'm going to die, and I might die soon. And it seems way more real, at least to me, than any other thing, any other time in the previous 63 years that I've lived here on Earth as William Goit. And this dawning of realization is wonderful in the sense that you can call to God. It really is just like that. It's not dry and clinical. It's not like you study to get to the Tao. You get to the Tao the same way you get to your mother. You get to the Tao the same way you get to the cosmic mother. You ask, and you ask with an open heart. Reveal yourself to me. Let me know about this bigger mind that created me. I didn't create myself. I know I didn't create myself. Show me what created me. Now this is very different than show me you, God. Because once you meet God, then what are you going to do? What are you going to say to him or her? are it. So getting involved with the process is intelligent, because the process is always happening around us. That's what the quantum field is. It's alive with potential, energy that can be cultivated and put into fractal images and concentrated upon and imagined, and they come to life, people. That's what life is. Most of it's automatic. Most of it's done through our DNA and the autonomic nervous system and habits, above all habits. And those habits are driven by our subconscious mind, which was created when we were very small. So getting in touch with that unconscious mind and the compulsions in your life. And by the way, many of these compulsions in your life probably led to could very possibly have led to your cancer diagnosis. Because cancer wants to show you something, that the way you've been living is out of balance. And this is hard for me to say because I live a pretty clean life and still I've got this imbalance. And through a lot of introspection, I see what the cancer is trying to show me. It's kind of personal. I don't really want to share it here. But it is less to do with being bad, as in getting involved in energies that weren't yours. They were given to you at a very early age. And perhaps you were raised in a situation that was less than wonderful. Perhaps your parents were young and stupid or mean or whatever, poor, whatever. That leaves a huge mark on us that's hard to live with. And I don't know if we can erase it, but we need to learn how to live with it. And I suspect if you pay attention in your cancer journey, you will start to see these patterns popping up, being shown to you. And you can easily get caught up in guilt at this point, because people are going to be saying, "Whoa, how did he get cancer?" Right? What did she do to get the cancer? And people can't help that. People are like that. People are like that. Even people you love dearly are like that. And to look for a reason why you have cells that are dividing faster than the other ones and eating up the organism, it's very difficult to find the root cause of that. And when you do, it's even more difficult to feel good about it. So rather than focus on why, focus on getting in touch with the mind of the Tao, getting in touch with that which created us. You can call it whatever you want, it doesn't matter, but you must sincerely invoke it. And I don't mean like, "Oh, come and save me." No, more like how when you talk to your grandfather. You can call it your higher self, you can call it the goddess, it doesn't matter. But it has to be like when you were a little kid and you were in a dark room and you couldn't see anything in front of you, really dark, and you're very young and you're stepping forward and you can't see anything and you feel afraid and you reach out for your mother's hand. That's what I'm talking about. It's not too late for you to do that. And this is something we can all do, and we can all do it in the way that feels good to us. There's no certain way to do it, and I'm not talking about a religious anything. I'm saying getting in touch with your chi, the chi that innervates your body. That chi, that te, is a little image of the grand chi in the universe, that oneness, that one chi, and we can tap into that. It's our birthright to tap into it. It's natural. There's nothing sophisticated about it. It's just a desire that you need to do until you get the result. And there's a lot of science around all that, but at any rate, getting to that place where, and it's ever deepening and ever joyful, to fall into the quantum field of possibility that exists within us and exists everywhere on the universe, and they are very similar. It's just a muted symphony that's been given to us, while a grand symphony is happening in the cosmos. And we can become familiar with God the wonder of creation, God's wonderful creation, by tapping into its power. We can derive inspiration from it, enthusiasm for living, and excitement. And we can do it through our breath, because that's the main way we breathe in anything, is through our breath. That's primal. And tying to the breath ideas of more energy and inspiration and enthusiasm than you imagined in the previous moments. It's that simple. You ask for more energy with your mind as you breathe. There's good techniques, and I teach them on solarqigong.com, but if you can hear my voice, you can breathe. And if you can breathe, you can probably imagine. And you can imagine whatever beautiful color you like, and breathe it into the places that are bothering you, into where the tumors are growing, into where you have pain. And use whatever colors really feel good to you, and you just imagine it the best you can, because these colors, they're very much like the expression and emotion of the universe, of visible light. And this visible light is God. It is the Tao, whatever you want to call it. And its octaves or its notes are these colors. And there's a whole science about what they mean, but you can feel it out. You just ask, and you get that color going in your mind. And you, with your breath, as you're breathing in, you breathe it to where your cancer is. Okay? You breathe it to your headache. You breathe it into your stomach ache. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can't do it wrong. You just breathe into those spaces where we tap in to the Tao of universal life force, into our Te, which is our little version, our little software, this magnificent hardware of the universe to find a home in. Breathe it in whatever color feels good to you, and enjoy it. Enjoy it today.